Maggie tracked her progress toward her savings goal as represented in the model below. What percent of her goal has she reached? So she is already right here. So I know she has reached over 80%. So which one can we mark off if she's reached over 80%? Of our choices. 10. Has she reached 100% of her goal? No. So now let's look. If this is 20%, what would half of it be? 10%. So half of this one would be 10%. So she has 80 plus 10% is 90%. 6 out of 10 people reported they like coffee. So 6 out of 10 like coffee. What percent of the people reported that they like coffee? Percent is always out of 100. So how does 10 go to 100? Times 10 times 10. 6 times 10 is 60%. So it is 60%. So 60% of the people like coffee. Charlie used 30% of his savings to buy video games. If he had $100 in his savings, how much does he have left? So what percentage does he have left? Percent is always out of 100. He used 30, so what percent does he have left? 70% of 100 is $70. Number 4. A neighborhood association is collecting trees to plant along their new walking trail. Their progress towards collecting a certain number of trees is represented in the model below. They have reached 40% of their goal. How many trees do they hope to collect? It's not how many trees have they collected, it's how many trees do they hope to collect. So this should have a 15 here, a 15, and 15. If they want to collect all of this, how much are they going to collect? 15 times 5. Because they 40% would be, I would have to divide this into 10 and take 4 of it. But we want the whole thing. This is their goal. They've only reached 40% of the goal, so this is 75. So my answer is 75. Tasha purchased a $40 shirt on sale for $30. So how much did they take off? 40 minus 30, they took $10 off. We want to know what 10% is off 40. So this is where we're using the part over whole. 10 is what of 40? I'm going to cross off my zeros. So now, can 4 go to 100? Times what? Times 25? Times 25? So it was 25% off. Anthony answered 16 out of 20 questions on his quiz correctly. What percent of the questions did he answer correctly? Percent is always out of what? 100. How does 20 go to 100? Times 5. If you multiply 5 at the bottom, you have to multiply 5 at the top. 16 times 5 is 80. 80%. Okay, number 7. Paul has a savings account that pays him interest on the remaining balance at the end of each month. For every dollar in his savings account, he earns interest in the amount shown in the hundreds grid below. So I'm going to count my little squares, shaded in squares. 10, there are 17, so that's 17 hundredths. So he's earning 17 hundredths on 200. So 200 times decimal 17. Okay, everybody multiply that, please. So he earns $34. At a zoo, there are 75 exotic birds. Of the 75 birds, 32% of them are male. Using equivalent fractions as shown below, how many of the 75 birds are male? So they already set it up for you. How does 100 go to 50? Divide by 2. If we would divide by 2 at the bottom, we have to divide by 2 at the top. Now, how does 50 go to 25? Divide by 2. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. So now I'm going to rewrite it so we have more room. 8 over 25 equal to 75. How does 25 go to 75? Times 3. If we multiply 3 at the bottom, we have to multiply 3 at the top. 8 times 3 is 24. So my answer is C. Greg finished delivering handouts to 12 of the 50 of his teachers at his school. Use the rate table below to help calculate the percent of handouts Greg has delivered. Greg finished delivering handouts to 12 of the 50 teachers. Okay, so now 12 of the 50. Guys, and they put it in a chart already for you, part over whole. How does 6 go to 12? Times 2, and they multiply by 2 over here. How does 50 go to 100? Times 2. So 12 times 2 is 24. So it is 24%. You could have set it up with this way too. That was my whole, and 12 was my part. How does 50 go to 100? Times 2. 12 times 2, which is 24. Simon and Jory worked together to put up a fence in the backyard. Together it took them 8 hours. So 8 hours. Simon was only able to help for 6 hours. What part of the 8 hours was Simon able to help? So what percent? Out of the whole, he only helped part of it, which was 6. That was his part. We want to know 100. We're wanting to know what percent. This is, remember, the part over the whole equals percent over 100. Part over whole, percent over 100. Can 8 go to 100? No, but we can simplify this. We can divide both of these by 2 and get 3/4. Now, can 4 go to 100? Times what? 4 times what is 100? 25. So 3 times 25 is 75. So Simon helped for about 75% of the time.